how do you announce your cabinet? Huh? You announce MMC positions and you've not consulted your coalition parties or the parties you want to bring into your coalition. It just doesn't make sense to me. So now he's left with egg on his face because 3 of the positions he's announced, the EFF have said no, and Action SA has also said no. Michael, thank you so much for coming through. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm as confused as you are, Clement, so I hope I can still try and be helpful to your question.
Are you telling me that the mayor not once yesterday contacted Action SA and said, hey, this Xolani guy that you have in council, I want to give him an MMC position? How do you feel about that? He didn't do that?
Well, he's been burning up the phone lines for days, including yesterday, but Action SA has communicated repeatedly that we are not interested in taking up a seat in this government. We viewed it as a failed government and a corrupt government, with the revelations arising out of the parliamentary committee's work. And from our point of view, it was a non-starter. As recently as last night, there was a meeting of those who were to be included in this government, and Action SA indicated we were not available. And the response we got is, well, we will announce you and then you can withdraw, which is a crazy way for a major city as complex as Ekurhuleni to be run. And it points, Clement, I mean, it's funny in one breath, but it's sad in another. Because this is a city with complex problems, communities that have needs that are not being met by the government. And if this is the kind of leadership being expressed by the mayor, then Action SA very clearly has made the right decision to stay away. I also want to say, Clement, that there's a very clear effort to relegate Xolani as a ticket writer for bylaws. Xolani is a crime fighter. It's kicking down doors of drug dealers and putting him in charge of bylaws is a very clear effort by the mayor to rein him in and have him subservient to the government rather than doing the work that he is renowned for.
Okay, so can you be honest with us, Michael? Because I mean, in politics, these things happen a lot where you try to bargain for something else, and if they give you something you didn't ask for, and then you withdraw and you say, oh, we don't want this. Are you telling me that as Action SA, there were no other positions you were interested in? So even if they had given you 3 more positions, you didn't want it because you don't want to be part of the government in Ekurhuleni?
Correct. As a matter of fact, the response from our president to the mayor was, if you offer us the mayoralty, we'll consider. Because without wanting to be funny, Clement, and without being tongue-in-cheek, we have come to appreciate in the coalition dynamic in Gauteng that when Action SA leads a coalition like we do in the city of Tshwane, there is service delivery for all of its citizens. The Metro Police work, the fight against corruption takes place, the audit outcomes improve, and there is stability. But rather, when we are led in a coalition by mayors who have proven incapable of leading complicated cities like Dada Marero, like Mayor Xhakaza here, it is a situation where, we'll find ourselves subjugated to inadequate leadership that fails the residents of Ekurhuleni at a critical time where we need to be the alternative. And you can't be the alternative if you're reporting to the people that you need to be the alternative to.
Where does this leave the mayor, Michael? I mean, he doesn't have the support of Action SA. He doesn't have the support of the DA. He sure doesn't have the support of the EFF. Julius Malema has been angry over the last couple of weeks over what's happening in Ekurhuleni. And now that the EFF has also said to the mayor, no, we're good with these positions, unless, of course, there are negotiations happening behind the scenes. This leaves him vulnerable. I mean, if there's a motion of no confidence tomorrow, I don't see how he's going to survive it.
Well, absolutely. It clearly is a lame duck government, one that doesn't have the numbers to govern, much less survive a motion of no confidence. And there is a governance crisis taking place in Ekurhuleni at a critical time. I mentioned earlier that the revelations rising out of these parliamentary committees about the corruption and malfeasance taking place in Ekurhuleni is horrific. Clearly, this has been a cesspool, one which has been allowed to go and operate with impunity for years. And this is a time where strong political leadership will be needed to turn it around. That kind of leadership is clearly not on display. It's not leadership that has a majority support in Ekurhuleni. And it really is a sad day for the residents of Ekurhuleni that this is where they're at. But our answer to why we wouldn't step in to save this problem now is to say there's a local government election coming up in November. We need an alternative. We don't need to offer a failing government a crutch. so that it can continue to stumble its way to the elections and continue to hurt its residents.
Mm. Michael Beaumont, thank you for making time. He's the national spokesperson for Action SA. I mean, quite surprising how the mayor of Ekurhuleni has handled this entire thing. I mean, if you're sitting down with a political party, and of course, that's if you believe what Action SA tells you, as I always tell you on the show, believe in politicians at your own peril, right? I always take what politicians tell me with a pinch of salt. So I don't know what the mayor is going to say later on. But if you believe what Action SA is saying now, that the mayor told them, hey, I want to give you guys a mayoral an MMC position. And they told the mayor, no, we don't want to be part of the mess in Ekurhuleni. In fact, if there's one thing we'll take here is a mayoral position and not an MMC position. And the mayor apparently said, well, in that case, then I'm going to make the announcement and you guys can then withdraw. Isn't that weird? And that creates an impression of an unstable metro. How do you run things like that? And hopefully we're going to hear more later when the mayor of Ekurhuleni hosts this press briefing. Let's hear how he's going to explain how things have transpired.